Well, good morning everybody and welcome back to the channel. So we've got the fertilizer shed pretty much all knocked down other than that wall there. And I need to get the drag conveyor pulled out yet. That's still down in the pit. But other than that, it's pretty well all down. So I decided to start a second video or a part 2 to this little adventure because we got quite a bit on the first part, and Josh done a wonderful job of catching a lot of the action shots. Really good camera work, Josh. So anyways, we're gonna start the second video here of cleanup. So we got to get a wrecking ball. We got to bust all this concrete up right here. That's actually some pretty tough stuff. You seen me bust off a piece of that in the first video, but I didn't want to put too much stress on the excavator, so I want to get the ball to break the rest. This all needs to go. This concrete that is pretty much grade with the driveway area here, parking lot area, it's all going to stay. They want to park trucks on it. So as of right now, that is going to stay. But all these walls go, and all that old loading dock and raised building all goes. So we get some fuel here in the 220, hit a few grease circs with some grease, and then we'll get at it. First thing today I gotta do is I need to fill that dumpster with that material right there and some of that material there, and whatever's left we'll go over to our stockpile. So let's get started. I got these wood beams. This is one of them. The other one broke already, but I thought about keeping them to use them for something, but I just don't know what I'd do with them. Thought about using them in a building, maybe, but they're just so wide that if you try to use them for a header, I'm afraid they would hang down too far. I thought, well, maybe I could rip them in half or something, make 2 headers out of them, but it's like they're so ate up with fertilizer, it seems like, and they're so dried out that I think we're just gonna get rid of them here. Oh, darn it. There it goes. Can't save everything, I guess. Plus, I'd have to find a place to store them until I could get a building built to use them. Let's get rid of them. Take them over to the clean wood stockpile. Here's another one. You can see how like furry they are. It's weird. It's like the fertilizer ate the fibers of the wood or something. Strange. Or maybe it's some sort of mold growing on them. I don't know. Finish cleaning this up. Well, I'm gonna work on tearing the last little bit of wall down here. I don't really care what happens to that conveyor after looking it over pretty good. Not much value there to really try to put a lot of effort into keeping it. It's just not gonna really work for what I wanted to do with it. So whatever happens to it, happens to it. Scrap at this point. I'd like to just have a section of that trough. That's really all I want. I I can use it for a chute for stone on the trommel or something like that. You see them all the time advertised on the DPA auction site, and they don't go for very much money at all anyway, so maybe buy me one that's already torn down. Sometimes it just doesn't pay to salvage certain things. Yeah, you try to repurpose as much stuff as you can, but sometimes it's just not worth the hassle. There's some wire that will salvage. Ooh, that post is really in there. Let's bust him off. This electric box here. Well, I wasn't going to grab it, but I lost it over the side. That's alright. Grab some of this conduit, get it out of there. There we go. The last of the walls are down. Wood walls, anyways. Dad's going to get me the wrecking ball so I can get rid of these concrete walls next. Alright, I'll clean this mess up and get rid of it. Well, I switched to my ditch bucket now. So I'm going to try to clean some of this wood and potash up and get it put in the dumpsters. Should be able to scrape this concrete fairly well. See what happens. Nice thing about this bucket having the bolt-on cutter edge is it's easy to replace. Let me get a little closer to that wall. Not sitting level again, sitting on some wood or something. Try to keep some good pressure on that cutter edge so I can chew that off that floor. Cut them old posts off too. We're going to do a little broom work because I can't get quite tight to the wall. Oh yeah, working real nice. Definitely going to have rusty tracks and a rusty bucket, or rusty buckets after working in this. Have to get them out and dig some in the dirt and get them cleaned out real good. There's a wooden pole concreted in right there. wanted to get all this cleaned off before I start breaking concrete up. Try and knock some of that out of that bucket. I don't want it sticking in there too long. Oh yeah, this is going to work real nice. Might as well finish this over here. Well, Dad's back with the ball, so I'll go unload it. And we'll start putting some scrap on the dump truck. After we get the scrap cleaned up, I get all this scraped off, and we'll start swinging the ball. Good. Well, George cut the chain, so let's see what happens. Got that part down. Got the wrong bucket on for this. There we go. This over to the side. Taking too much with it. Must have missed a bolt. Well, Scooter got all the bolts out this time. There we go. I actually think I can save this piece. That's the piece that I wanted. Well, I don't get too crazy squeezing it. Should be still usable for what I want it for. Grab it by the steel frame down here. Oh yeah. I can still use that. Nice. Go ahead and get this electric box off the wall. Still gotta get the piece out that goes under the rail. I have to switch buckets. Probably a pretty high dollar control box when it was new. Alright, I'm going to switch back to my other bucket. I like this work brow coupler. Let's see if we can get the rest of it out. Must have some anchors of some sort down in there. There's some more of it. Must be anchored. There's the rest of it. Nasty. Well, now that we have all the pads cleaned off really nice, everything cleaned up, got it in the dumpsters and all that, we're going to start breaking up some concrete. So I got my favorite tool here on site. Let me grab him. Got to get it the way I want it here. We got to redo all the driveway and stuff anyway, so there we go. I just like to grab the tire and use it. where I want to be here. So the proper way to use one is it's all in the stick. You really don't want to use the swing, so. Use the swing, it's kind of hard on the swing motor. That's why I like to use just the stick. Seems like you got a little better aim too with it. It's a very effective tool. I don't want to hit the floor, so we want to keep that. Let's go do this corner. Ball do the work. I mean, you can swing a little bit, but you don't want to rely on the swing to make the hit. A lot of rebar in there. Nice thing about using it with the tire set up like this is you can lay it down and you can move stuff. Rebar. It's a real pain in the butt.
What do we have going on?
Well, since the auxiliary function on the 220 decided it was going to up and quit, so I can't use the thumb anymore, went and got the old trusty 200 Hitachi Dash 5, and that's what we're going to finish the project with until the 220 can be fixed. So I'll let the old high-hour girl work her magic. Harding's Heavy Equipment came and checked the 220 out, and I totally forgot that I could run the thumb on pedal mode, which I can use my pedal on the floor to move it. It's not as convenient as the thumb switch, but it'll get me by. So they're gonna send somebody out to check it out tomorrow, see why my thumb switch won't work. No big deal, no problem at all. Just kind of odd to just up and quit working. Doesn't matter what brand of excavator it is, it's going to give you problems. The thing is having the dealer support to fix those problems. And Dave came right away when he found out we were having issues with it. So that's when you know you got a good dealer. I'm going to get some of this cleaned up so I can see what's left to break. Probably going to have to cut all that rebar off. Gotta be careful I don't hurt my bucket. That's why I'm being very gentle with it. George and I got a good start on the elevated part of the fertilizer shed. This is actually the oldest part of the shed, built in 1958. And this would have been where rail cars would have brought bagged fertilizer. Because back then they did a lot of fertilizer in bags. I think that was really the only way you could get it. And where Josh is parked now, there used to be a railroad track. The box cars would roll up next to the dock and they'd unload them. And then on the other side of where we're sitting, trucks would back in. Pickups, straight trucks, full grain trucks, whatever people brought to get their fertilizer. They'd open a bunch of doors and they would throw bags out onto trucks, and then that's how you got your fertilizer for your planting and whatever else you were doing. A pretty cool piece of history here. If these, if this concrete floor could talk, I'd tell you how many tons of fertilizer it's had rolled across it on carts and things like that. I seen my buddy Brock from the county just pulled in. We're going to do my driveway permit for the new house and my new shop. We'll get that done. Him and his little boy Alex love watching the channel. So thank you, Alex, for watching as always. Thank you, Brock, for helping me with obtaining my driveway permit. I really appreciate it. Get Josh loaded up here real quick, and then get him on his way. Alright, go fill some papers out. Well, that was painless. The driveway permit is done. I'm approved for that. So now the fun part, I get to go back to the planning commission and get to do the actual building permit. I am very excited. It's a big step in life to buy a new house, that's for sure. It's alright if we get a little sand in this, because we gotta haul the sand off anyways. So far, the process of getting my permits has been very easy. Got my septic permit done. That was no problem at all. Tends to make it easier when you go in there and you're wanting to oversize everything. Like, instead of going with a 1,000-gallon tank, which is required, I upped it to a 1,250-gallon tank. I upped the size of my leach field. Just because I don't want trouble later. And in our county, if you have a jetted bathtub, jacuzzi tub, something like that, you have to go with the little larger leach field and septic anyways, because that counts as having a whole nother bathroom in the house. Because on average, them tubs hold about 150 gallons of water, so that equates to another person living in the house, basically. A foot pedal for the thumb, but hey, it's working until that gets fixed. Just doesn't feel as natural. You know, you use your thumb to move the thumb, so it feels like it's normal human activity. Whoops. Hoping that big chunk would scoot over a little bit. It's kind of weird using your foot to move your thumb. There's no rebar in this concrete, it's just wire. Train coming. We're going. Oh, where did he went? Well, it was a train that was slowing down because he's going to come get these two tank cars that they emptied the fertilizer out of. Kind of cool. Get to watch trains. I like trains. I should have been an engineer, I suppose. Is it gonna bang? Oh, no big bang. Waiting for a big bang. He cruised right out of there. Right up the hill. Oh. There, I got my big bang. Go. A little bit of small concrete here left. That's the last of the big concrete breakup. I think it's lunchtime though. I think we're gonna go to lunch. Kinda hungry. Oops. Alright. Time to go to lunch. Oh, yep. Scooter says it's time to go. Well, we're back from lunch. And now we're going to start loading some of this sand out from this building. Be interesting to see what we find in this old building pad. A lot of times, the old timers threw whatever they could find for fill in. A lot of times that was field rocks, bricks, blocks, just all kinds of random stuff. So we'll see if we can find anything interesting. Not sure how much sand we're going to take out. I think we're going to put stone back here, so I'm going to have to take enough out to get it low enough for the stone. We'll get the bulk of it out first, and then we'll come back and grade it. Pretty windy today. That sand just sandblasts the windshield. This has been a fun project, but I'm glad it's over. Now we can concentrate on some farm work. It's just been so wet that really haven't been able to do much at all. Got the corn planter ready and actually put it back in the shed for now. We do have all of our seed at the shop, so all we need to do is go get liquid fertilizer in the tanker and work a little ground, and Dad can get started planting corn. I just need to put my planter back behind the 4640, put my monitor back in the cab, oil my chains, check all my disc openers and firming wheels, make sure all the bearings are good, and then I think I can go plant. As far as I know, everything should be good to go as far as major stuff. I'm sure I'll find something that needs fixed. I think it'll hold one more. That'll work. Alright, I'm going to keep loading dirt. Try to get this finished up today. Well, we're getting down to our last load of sand here. George was running the hoe for a little bit because I got a phone call from the well company. I called them earlier about an estimate on a well, a 4-inch drilled well, and they called me back. So I got out of the excavator and went and talked to them for a little bit. Get this finished up. Not as much fun when you have to sit down on the ground and load trucks. Much easier when you're up on the pile and you can see. Definitely a lot to building a house. Permits, getting stuff lined up. I still gotta call REMC yet and find out about electric. My plan is to have them just come down off the pole with an H panel, and then I'm going to trench over to that H panel and run my own wire just like we do for irrigation. Be cheaper if I do it than to have them run it all the way to the house. No matter how I measure it, it's going to be about 360 feet from the pole to the house. So it's going to be quite a bit of wire. But if I do it, I'm sure it'll be a lot cheaper than if they do it. I'm going to try to do the same thing with the natural gas. Have them come so far, and then I'll run my own gas line over to their meter, which I have friends that have done it. In fact, the one salesman I'm getting my house through, he has done it with his home, so it is doable. swore like there was just a building there. Where'd it go?
I don't know.
Totally gone.
It's like somebody
Wiped it
tore
out.
it down or something in like
wiped
2
it out in
days.
like 4 days, 3 days. Yeah, gone. Looks a lot better without it though, I will say that.
Yeah.
All right, Josh, let's go home.
You actually see the new building.
Yeah. I think it looks pretty good. All
All right,
let's get out of here.
Let's roll.
Well, I hope everybody has enjoyed the videos of the fertilizer shed teardown. As you can see, there's no more fertilizer shed. It is all gone. We are going to come back next week and we're going to put limestone up to here. We got to get some trucked in, but they want to make this all nice and tapered down, so if anybody backs across the slab and backs off, they can pull right back on with no problem. We can now finish underneath the flight star over there. We can finish putting our stone in there since the building's out of the way. We kind of left that because we knew the building was going to come out eventually, and we figured it'd be easier to do all that later. So the pad does need swept off or washed off. So we're going to see if they want to wash that off for us because they've got water and trucks available here. But everything is gone. There's no rebar sticking up, nothing that can puncture a tire or anything like that. I think it turned out really nice. Eventually this will probably get torn out because they've talked like they might put some bulk storage tanks up here for liquid fertilizer. So, but until then, they're just going to leave it here to park semis and spreaders and things like that on, which it'll work great for that. Be nice because you can unhook a loaded trailer. You don't have to worry about throwing a bunch of blocks of wood and stuff under the jacks and things like that. So anyways, thank you for watching. Greatly appreciate it. This is a fun project. Couldn't have done it without my guys. They all give 110% on this project, and we got it done and wiped out. So thank you to my crew, and thank you to the viewers for watching. I really appreciate it. We'll see you all in the next one. Have a good evening.